I'm gonna go over every bad decision made in Digital Circus episodes 5 through 8 and explain what I would have done differently. The first mistake is from Zooble, who we see not attending the adventure, and we obviously know this affects Kane and makes him sad, which is no good. Zooble then instantly starts dogging on Kane, and tell me this picture right here isn't like a minimal version of him in episode 8. It was like a little tease into his madness. I don't know how that didn't terrify Zuby. Obviously what you do here is not antagonize the god of the universe. That's really stupid. Not to mention, because of Zooble dogging on his adventure, this causes Kane to send them on another adventure back to back, which sucks for everyone that just went through the previous adventure. Then the next mistake is made by Jax. So this adventure is a speed run of a bunch of suggestion box ideas, and the first couple are Jax's. And Jax decided for his adventures to just torture everyone, especially Gangle. This is not very helpful, with Jax getting closer to the members and creating a relationship, which he really needs regardless if he thinks so or not. Then we go to a calm, chill adventure where they are just stargazing, and Jax kind of starts to open up to Pomni, ranting about his problems with Ragatha and Gangle, being sort of vulnerable, and Pomni really doesn't clock this and try to get him to open up more. Jax redirects the conversation in Jax fashion, making a mean joke, and Pomni lets the conversation die instead of being like, oh hold up, let's back up for a second, do you have emotions, Jaxerton? Also during this adventure, the moon starts flirting with Kane and getting all juicy, and he ignores the moon and focuses on the circus gang instead. Kind of stupid. I would have taken that moon in a private room. So Kane ends the adventure because everyone looks happy, and we go to Zooble's adventure, which is just them chilling at the bar. This adventure is actually very important to the members because everyone starts opening up to each other and sharing real human lore. And it's honestly very surprising they've been here for so long and are now for the first time learning about each other's personal lives. This should have been something they did much sooner. Also, Jax lies about his past and fails once again at attempting to connect with the members on a deeper level. During this scene too, Ragatha shares some really intense trauma that she had with her mom, and the members look at her like she is insane and make her uncomfortable, which is very disrespectful. I would have comforted her. Now really quick, you see how when Jax redirects his emotions he makes his eyes big? I feel this is something Pomni could have caught onto, and it would have really helped in reading Jax and served as a lie detector. I have no idea how no one caught onto that. It's very obvious. The last mistake of the episode is just everyone dogging Kane's adventure in the end, saying that the suggestion box adventures are much better, adding to his fuel of anger. Now we go on to episode 6, and once again Zooble makes the first mistake. Zooble is hiding from Kane, trying once again to flee the adventure, and then they tease him like always. This is also the third episode in a row where they are turning down Kane's ideas, and because of them dogging Kane, it literally makes him glitch, and they don't realize, oh, this probably isn't smart. I don't know how. Glitching usually equal bad, and once he settles on this trust game, Jax ruins it instantly, just shooting Ragatha and not participating in the trust game whatsoever. You can tell this really upset Kane. Yeah, just shoot each other, have guns, I don't care anymore. This was very disrespectful, and I honestly believe this trust game was a very smart play by Kane, because it is true that the members could benefit from a game like this. So then the new adventure starts, which is a 2v2v2 gunfight. We see Ragatha and Kinger, who take the floor level of the circus. Already positionally, this is the worst place to be, because if anyone has high ground, they are at a huge disadvantage. Speaking of Rag and King, because Ragatha got shot earlier, she starts the game with a missing heart. So Kinger spawns a butterfly out of thin air, and Ragatha takes it and gains a heart. And she asks Kinger how this butterfly was made, and he says, oh, I made it up. And it seems Ragatha wasn't more intrigued how Kinger, who was definitely not Kane, made something up in the circus, because she never questions this ever. Anyway, Kinger and Ragatha end up getting shot at from Zuby and Gangle, and Kinger, being the literal dumb one, takes cover and shoots a pretty accurate shot for his well-being, while Ragatha kinda just stands there out in the open. Zooble was also stupid here because she only took one shot, even though Ragatha just stood there for so long. That was a missed opportunity. Now after this, because Ragatha and Kinger are both silly and just out in the open, it allowed for Pomni to get an easy shot on Ragatha and separate them. Kinger and Ragatha could have taken cover in so many places and been safer, but because they didn't, Ragatha is now by herself face to face with Jax. She picks up a toy gun and, well, gets shot. She does end up putting her finger into Jax's gun and taking a life off him, but because she is so surprised by what happened, she lets her guard down and allows Jax to demolish her. If this was me, after I put my finger in the trigger, I would have either ran or grabbed a gun off him or had my next finger ready for his next gun. To be totally fair though, I think Ragatha was not built for this adventure. Pomni and Jax then run by Kinger, who was in a dark room, and for some odd reason Kinger stares at them and doesn't shoot, which I know he is dumb right now, but earlier he did fire a pretty accurate shot at Gangle and Zoob. Anyway, Jax and Pomni chase him into a dark room. I think personally, if Jax and Pomni did not have plot armor, Kinger could have gone crazy on them, but instead Kinger ricochets a shot for no reason and kills himself. And while I think it's crazy Pomni and Jax did not get hit, it was still dumb. The smartest thing Kinger could have done was go into a room, hide in a corner, and wait for them to enter the door, because now he knows exactly where they will be coming from, because there's only one way into the room. Easy peasy, good game. Because Kinger is now dead and now in the loser room with Ragatha, he's able to talk to her, and he's talking normal because it's dark there. While Ragatha is sad and Kinger is giving her advice, she fails once again at asking questions to Kinger that could really help in solving the circus. She never asked how he made a butterfly, and while she does question how sometimes he seems smarter, he kinda makes a joke out of it, and Bubble spawns as soon as she asked this, which I would have felt was suspicious. It's like Bubble was trying to deflect Ragatha finding out, so I would have asked again, nah, seriously bro, how are you smarter right now? And he would have probably told the same story he told Pomni about his wife in darkness, but he was not able to because Ragatha is a dumb. Also, not to mention, Ragatha could have just used her brain and thought of this moment and the other moment when he was smarter and realized the similarity was darkness. Then maybe one day she could visit him in his pillow fort and then ask the questions if right now she is sad and not in the right headspace. Back to the game. Ragatha and Zooble are running from Jax and Pom, and they reach a corner of this tunnel, and they are now behind cover and in great position. Not to mention, Gangle finds the Tommy gun, and instead of camping this corner and waiting for Jax and Pomni, who are playing aggressive, to turn this corner and spray them down, Gangle runs out spraying all over with no actual aim and shoots down the tunnel and gets herself killed. Really dumb. Then Zooble shows that they may be the dumbest but smartest character in the show. Zooble runs to their room and gets some Zooble parts to have extra hands to shoot more guns at once, which is smart, yes. And not to mention, because Zooble knows how Jax and Pomni are playing, Zooble expects them to barge into the room, and they do. So Zooble flashbangs Jax and Pom and sprays them down. Then after this amazing play, they just run off for no reason at all. I really don't understand the logic behind this. Zooble could have easily waited for the cooldown after the heart loss and shot them while they were down with no guns, but instead Zooble runs, Pomni shoots this crazy shot, Zooble dies. Then Pomni to celebrate hugs Jax, and Jax pushes Pomni off him, which could have been fine if he explained himself, but instead, because of some trauma, he puts a bunch of walls up and disrespects her, telling her he would forget about her and move on if she abstracted, and that she is just a plaything to him, which is just really disrespectful, especially saying this to genuinely the one person who sees you and cares about you. Because of this too, Jax almost abstracts. You can tell it really bothered him. Abstraction is no joke. Talking about your feelings or allowing yourself to be close to someone is worth way more than abstracting. Now on to episode 7. In the start of this episode, everyone is at the beach, and Zooble gives some amazing advice to Jax. If I have problems, I talk about it with people I trust. And this makes Jax freak out internally, and he runs away. Zooble just gave him some serious sauce. He should have definitely listened to this. After this, Jax then has a whole little almost abstraction sequence, giving him confirmation that his problems are definitely messing him up. Since he isn't really freaking out about exiting, he only gets his abstraction eyes during a social interaction. So if there was any time to really try to deal with some trauma and talk to someone, it should probably be done soon. The rest of the episode just follows an adventure Kane made up, where Abel, this NPC character, gives them this plan to escape the circus, which leads to everyone getting really mad that it was fake. and dogging Kane. And because of this, it leads to Kane's crash out next episode. This was obviously a mistake because it gives Kane, the god of the universe, full confirmation that everyone hates him. Also, not to mention, there was a way for them to know early on this was all fake and Kane's adventure. I said in my last video, Ragatha and Pomni both got confirmation Kinger was smart in the dark. And well, in this episode, not only does Abel confirm Kinger was behind the coding, Abel also asked them not to tell Kinger about this, which is so suspicious. So if they put a bucket on Kinger's head and talked to him about this adventure, Kinger would have let them know this doesn't make sense at all, and is definitely one of Kane's adventures, but they didn't. Also, Abel says some very weird things, like defending Kane, saying, "Oh, but Kane can't leave." Realistically, why would Abel, the man trying to help them escape, try to make them sympathize with Kane? Now we go to episode 8, the Kane crash out episode. In the beginning of this episode, Pomni says something so smart. She says they need to abandon the idea of leaving, which is very smart. This is the main cause of many abstractions. Accepting your fate here and making the most of this world is the best decision. And while everyone is having a heart-to-heart about being there for each other, Zubul of all people lets Jax know he's included and they care about him. You can tell this really affects Jax and is very confusing but means a lot to him. But he does not let himself appreciate this and has to put on his silly Jax I don't care persona. Like I said, he needs to let himself be vulnerable and care for these people or it's not going to end good at all. While the members are yapping on the couch, Kane is in his office crashing out. And while I do think Bubble played a huge part in him crashing out, because obviously Bubble is a virus and getting in his head, it's also because of the circus gang. They hated on his adventures, gave confirmation they did not want to stay with him. Zubul constantly is bullying him and hating on him. None of that was smart. And now Kane is just straight up torturing them. Song is fire though. Also because of the torture, Zubul literally says, "I never should have antagonized him so much." Which it's sad they realize this now because they did say in the fast food episode, "The only thing holding Kane back is the fact that he likes us." So they obviously knew Kane was powerful enough to do this if he didn't like them. So why wait so late to actually listen to your literal own words? Like, get real, what are you doing? Anyway, Pomni now finally puts a bucket on Kinger's head to get lore and figure out what they can do. I think this is so cringe because now Kane is in crash out mode and violent and aggressive. This just seems like the worst time to be doing this. I also think Kinger is kind of dumb as well. If he was aware he could change the code of Kane earlier, why did he not do this previously before he became goofy in the head? Even Scratch could have done this. They could have spawned a computer and made Kane chill and not put them on awful adventures. Doesn't make much sense. But yeah, Kinger now has the computer and is coding into Kane's program, while the rest of the members need to distract Kane. And tell me why Ragatha out in the open is like, "Oh, Kinger's doing what?" And Pomni is like, "Oh, we gotta make sure Kane doesn't check on Kinger." That was truly dumb. I mean, he doesn't overhear them, but it's still so dumb. Ragatha is then stupid again and starts treating Kane super respectful and nice, which is obviously suspicious. If they really wanted to distract Kane, they should be screaming in agony pain, showing their suffering, since right now he's obsessed with torture, so give him the exact reaction he wants. But they don't. And he goes, "Where's Kinger?" Pomni does step in a little too late, and they now start going ham on him with insults, and well, he crashes out on them really good. But also, he's aware of Kinger, so while he's torturing them, he's also popping up Kane viruses on Kinger's computer, which distracts Kinger, and he deletes Kane. While I feel this gets rid of the problem, it kinda makes so many new ones. Now, I don't blame Kinger for this. It was an accident, and his computer had a bunch of Kanes on it. I blame the timing of it. They could have done this literally any other time. I don't know why it took Kane being like this to want to fix him. They were obviously not happy with the circus before this. And that's it. Episode 9 is either on the screen or it's not, because I have not made it yet, but it will be made. Do not worry.